Here we be. Good morning. You know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this real quick so that poor Otello gets a full day off. Or at least a light day. I keep forgetting to do this, but it's just pretty necessary, so that's the way it's got to be. Hello, Governor. Good morning to you, Governor. You like my mug? Oh yeah, it's a Puerto Rico mug. San Juan. You like that? You like my Puerto Rico mug? Yeehaw. Here we are. Yippity skippity dee. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. It snowed again here. I'm going crazy. Snow, snow, snow. Today's pretty sunny and nice over this away. And the little flowers are starting to bloom too. It means that spring has sprung. Yeah, I like that. I'm ready for spring and summer. I think I can handle myself a little spring and a little summer. It'll make winter coming nice too, you know. I like that, like 4 seasons. The place I moved from had 2 seasons, summer and winter. That's crazy. That's crazy. Also, I guess my birthday's in a couple of days, huh? The big 4-5. The big 45. That's pretty crazy. $45 trips, yeah. 45 full rotations around the sun. Pretty nuts. I don't feel 45, mentally speaking. I feel 8, mentally speaking. That's about, yeah, 8, I think, give or take. I watched that movie last night, A Complete Unknown, the Timothy Chalamet, Bob Dylan biopic. And I didn't like it much. I thought Timothy Chalamet did a good job, but it's basically like a movie where the whole point of the movie is, I am who I am, man. Don't put me in a box, man. You can't define me with your tiny little concepts. I exist outside of the paradigm, man. You ain't gonna put me in no box, man. And it's just like, Okay, so basically, the Bob Dylan biopic doesn't teach you anything about Bob Dylan. It keeps his whole life a mystery, basically. And the entire movie is made up of about 2 hours and change of Bob Dylan singing and then being an asshole to somebody, and then singing and then being an asshole to somebody, and then singing and then being an asshole to somebody. And at about 2 hours and 15 minutes, it ends. Fantastic. What a flim. Yeah, it was a very strange movie. It was the "You Cannot Put Me in a Box" movie. The "You Shall Not Put Me in a Box, Sir" movie. I mean, all right. Look, if those of you that are hanging around here are gonna be absolutely silent, then we're putting it back on. Now it's anyone can chat. You know, you guys, it's incumbent. You know what I mean? When you've got the power, don't just sit back on your laurels. Because now the skibbities are unleashed. They were on the leash for a good 5 minutes. Now they're unleashed. Here they come. I can hear the skibbity toilet. My brain is fried. Mine too, dude. But that's okay. Mine never unfries. I've got a fried egg up there. All right, and that's on me. But at least I know it. Skibidi. Your cats are fighting again? Damn. Go spank those little furry butts. Go put them in timeout. Cricket, that's what happens to Cricket when he's being a little jerk. He gets put in timeout. He goes in the cricket room. To work out his jerkiness before we let him back out again. I'm such a diva. I got a good snap. I mentioned this a few times, but there's a film called Shopping, made in 1994 with Jude Law. Damn, Shopping. I'll have to check it out. Do you have any movies you're looking forward to seeing, Paul? Not really. No. Be honest with you, that's not really how I engage with movies. Movies for me, one of the fun parts about movies is going in blind and just picking something, right? I've always enjoyed that. And so I'm not one to like haunt the internet looking for information on upcoming movies and stuff, like plot points, characters, what they look like, and first pictures of so and so is so and so. I don't do that type of stuff because I feel like it really like sends me into a movie knowing what I'm gonna see, and I don't like that. It's like Nosferatu, for example. I went and saw that on release day, the new one, the Eggers Nosferatu. And I didn't want to be spoiled on what Skarsgård looked like as Nosferatu, right? As Orlok. I didn't want to be spoiled on that, but there were pictures of it all over the fucking place prior to me going to the movie. So if I had done any digging at all about the movie, I would have immediately been presented with a spoiler. Now, his appearance in the movie really wasn't worth protecting as a spoiler, but I do it anyway. You know, his appearance in the movie is kind of bleh. Where are you based? In every aspect of my life, bro. Politics, based. Philosophy, based. You see what I mean? Comedy, based. Media opinions, based. No, I'm kidding. Where am I based? In the forest, bro. I am in an American forest, I'll tell you that much. Acid, based. Turkey, basted. I never explained why I smited the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, I did. It's in the book. They were booty blasted. Duh, it's in the book. I say it right in the book. They were booty blasting. And over in Sodom and Gomorrah, they were booty blasting. And I straight up told them, like, that is against the rules. And so they had to be dealt with. You a Kant, Rawls, or Hume kind of guy? No. No. I can't say that I'm all too interested in the philosophies of those philosophers. I'm a Nietzsche, kind of Marcel Proust, kind of fucking Derek Jensenite, you know? This is a trans-friendly stream? Absolutely. It's an everybody-friendly stream. I don't care what you are. I'm not checking your gribbly bits when you walk in. Come as you are. Come, dust and mud, salt and bleach, as I want you to be. Hello from Russia. Na zdrowie, comrade. Na zdrowie, comrade. We love Donald Trump in Russia. He is a real man. We love Donald Trump. He is a real man. I guess real men in Russia are fat, demented, orange, bald buffoons. Neat. I didn't know that. I've never been to Russia. Many vodka sips in sauna. Breathe the air, little friend. Yeah, you're missing the point of that song. Come as you are, as you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as a friend, as an old enemy. Take your time, hurry up, the choice is yours, don't be late. Take a rest, as a friend, as an old enemy. So you're not paying attention to the song, sir. If you think come as you are really means come as you are, you're not listening to the song. You're missing As I Want You to Be. My favorite Adam Curtis documentary is The Power of Nightmares, followed very quickly by The 21st Century of the Self. I honestly think that those two documentaries should be required viewing for anybody that wants to talk politics or philosophy or, you know what I mean, civilization in general, psychology. Like, I really feel like that those two documentaries should be mandatory viewing. Soundgarden, STP, or Pearl Jam. For me, STP. I know that's probably the black sheep on the list, but I was not, like, you know, going back in the day, I was not super into Pearl Jam at all. I've never liked Eddie Vedder's. You know what the best thing Pearl Jam ever did was? Do the Evolution. That fit Eddie Vedder's kind of worn out voice, but I've never liked Eddie Vedder's voice. It's just never been my favorite thing. And Soundgarden, same kind of deal, man. Like, I know they were great, but I was not a big fan. So, of those three, 100% STP. Alice in Chains. Yeah, I was not a big Alice in Chains fan either. You know, no hate, but just different things hit people differently. You know what I mean? You know, I was a real big Nirvana guy. I liked some of the quirky kind of bands that were big in the 90s. Ween. What are those guys called? I listened to a lot of them back in the day. I liked Bush a lot in the 90s. That first album Bush released, 16 Stone, was really, really good. I think still pretty fucking good. Mr. Bungle, eh. The Tragically Hip, yeah. But I'll be honest with you, in the 90s, like, I listened to a lot of alt rock and punk and ska and stuff like that, but my home base is the same as it is today. I was listening to mostly hip hop in the 90s. So that's a cool show. Modest Mouse and the Pixies would be cool. What's your favorite pop punk band? Ooh, not a very popular one, but I really enjoyed Rancid. I listened to a lot of Rancid, and I think that they fit pretty well into that pop punk thing. Was not super into like the hyper mainstream Blink 182 kind of pop punk. Operation Ivy is another good one too. I didn't listen to as much of them. I liked Rancid quite a bit though. Born Before or After 79? After. But just barely. I was born in 1980. Weezer, yeah. A lot of people thought Weezer was like an industry plant band, but that first fucking album is so good. The Blue Album. Where are you from? The planet Earth. I'm born and raised in California. That's the closest thing to a place I'm from. It looks beautiful where you're at. It is. Very pretty here today. Destination unknown. Ruby, 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 Soho. You enjoy Black Mirror. I watched the first couple of seasons and then I just kind of fell off and stopped watching Black Mirror. But it's not because I disliked it. But yeah, I'm not caught up on Black Mirror. Let's put it that way. And I probably won't be because I fucking hate Netflix. I hate Netflix. I hate the style of their Netflix originals. I hate their app. I just hate Netflix. So I kind of travel around Netflix, not into Netflix. You ever in a position where you were destitute and facing potential homelessness? No. I mean, destitute, yeah, maybe, but facing homelessness, no. I mean, I worked my whole life. I mean, to my parents' credit, they provided that shelter for me until I was 18. And then when I was 18, I went out and I got a job. So I was broke from about the age of 18 to about the age of 28. You know what I mean? Like, broke meaning kind of living paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, not saving much money, but paying my bills and making my way. So that's the closest I've ever been to destitution, is just working a job and working overtime and just barely making my bills. And I did that for about 8 years of my life, I'd say, give or take. When the time you moved to Texas almost count? Yeah, you know what? Like, that's a good point. When I got divorced, I took a chunk of money, not anywhere near, not even half, but just a chunk of money to like cover my expenses and shit when I left. And that money ran out real quick. And right around the time that I joined DP, stopped being like a Friday guest and started being an every show guest. Right around that time, I was about as close to broke as possible. But see, my brain doesn't think of it that way because I hadn't even gone to plan B. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, ideally, I wanted to work for the podcast, but had the guys been like, we ain't really looking to bring another person on or something, which was entirely likely, just get a job, you know what I mean, was the next thing. And I've never had a problem doing that. And I don't fear that either. So, had I been like a person who clammed up and refused to look for work and refused to kind of grind and hustle and do what I had to do to make ends meet, yeah, I probably would have been pretty fucking spooked and close to destitution at that point. But I've just never considered myself that. Yep. Yeah, Power of Nightmares and The Century of the Self, both on YouTube in their entirety, and both really fucking worth watching. If you want to know a little bit of the history of the current political climate and the current economic climate and the kind of interplay between propaganda, advertising, and accumulating massive amounts of wealth. Manufacturing consent is explained very, very succinctly in The Power of Nightmares. If you want to see the kind of dark mirror that is the United States and kind of Islamic fundamentalists, United States neoconservatives and Islamic fundamentalists, it's just a really elucidating group of documentaries. Yeah, Century of the Self is long, and The Power of Nightmares is long as well. I mean, they were released on the BBC in parts. So they were like docu-series on the BBC, and they've all been folded together into one movie. So you can, think about them that way and watch them that way if you want. You can watch one episode, take a break, you know what I mean? But yeah, those are all very, very amazing, worthwhile documentaries to look into. When you say controlled opposition in reference to the Democratic Party, can you elaborate on the word controlled? Yeah. So, oppositional in rhetoric, but facilitating in action, right? That's basically controlled opposition, right? So, you will pretend to be the arch nemesis of the Republicans, but when you get power, you continue most of the Republicanism, right? So that's controlled opposition. That's funneling people who would oppose a Republican agenda into a party that facilitates it, right? They appear to oppose the Republican agenda, but when they are in power, they just continue it, right? So that's what I mean. And that is 100% descriptive of the American Democratic Party. I think you'll like that one. Watch The Power of Nightmares, Merrick. Watch that one first, because that's my favorite. It's my favorite Adam Curtis. That's the one that blew my mind. Right. Be performative when it doesn't matter or when it costs you nothing to be. And then when the time to stand up, be quiet and acquiescent. Meekly roll over and allow it to continue. Just do nothing to stop it, etc. It's controlled opposition. It's your take with everything that is going on with the world lately. Same as it ever was, you know. I'm a Taoist, and so I believe in the incessant, endless churning Tao, right? And I think one of the misapprehensions that a lot of people walk around with in the world is that we're living in entirely unprecedented times. But the truth of the matter is, war, rumors of war, economic devastation and uncertainty, the rise of crazy leaders, and all of that, none of that is new. It is part and parcel of the human story. And if you want my honest opinion about it, prepare, your mind for a little doomerism here. We're in the twilight hours of what I would call the American Empire. The American Empire is on a slow, but I think at this point, inexorable slide into oblivion. And there are other powers on this planet that are ascendant, right? And so we have lived in what a lot of political wonks will call a Pax Americana, right? An American peace. America, big dog on the planet, nobody can really stand up to it, enforces an economic reality on the world, puts America at the center of that, right? And the institutions and governmental kind of legislative bodies that facilitated that have rotted. They have become outdated, slow, non-responsive to the needs of human beings, and you could make comparisons to, the late dynastic period in Egypt, to the fall of Rome, to the fall of the Eastern Roman Empire, right? This is just what happens, right? When the powerful consolidate too much power and control, And when government starts to be about protecting the fortunes of rich and powerful people and not providing a baseline for the people that have to live underneath that government, those governments fall apart. They're either torn apart from within, and as we're seeing now, right? I think we're seeing a little bit of that, or maybe a lot of bit of that happening now. Or they're torn apart from without due to external pressures, either direct or indirect, right? So we're talking warfare or economic downturn, right? So that is how I feel about the crazy shit going on in the world today. That's, from my perspective as an American, that's what I feel is going on in the world. I feel we are witnessing a transitional period where America is no longer daddy big balls on the planet. Our power and influence and respectability and ability to enforce that peace is slipping into oblivion. And there are ascendant powers on this planet. Yeah, Ozymandias, like, look ye mighty upon my works and despair, right? And it's a completely ancient fallen kingdom, right? Will it be a peaceful transition? No, it already isn't, right? So this is one of the problems that people have. People think, oh, the transition is coming. So you're saying it's coming? No, I'm saying we're in the middle of it. I'm saying we are in the middle of it, right? So it's happening now. It's not something that's gonna probably maybe happen in the future. We're in the midst of a collapse. It just doesn't happen like it does on the movies. In the movies, a collapse happens, the zombie outbreak happens, and all of a sudden the world is just in flames, right? As interesting and fun and weird as that would be, that's just not really how this is going to go. The reality is it's going to be a generational slide, and we're already seeing it, right? Kids today are getting a worthless education in comparison to kids just 2 generations ago. I'm talking about the American public education system. If you go back 2 generations and take the general education that a child was getting and you compare it against the general education a child is getting today, just 2 generations later, you will find that that institution has rotted to the point of almost pointlessness. It's basically a daycare for kids now, right? School isn't about creating kids that can read a book, that can do a math problem, that can suss out what it is they want to be in life when they become of that age, right? That's not what it's about anymore. And that's just one aspect. That's just one mirror on our society, right? That you can look into and fact check me. It's a downward slide. And it's slow and painful. Like I said, it's not going to be like The Day After Tomorrow or 2012 or, Deep Impact or Armageddon or what, right? The movies tell us that that's how this type of stuff happens. Reality tells us that's not how this type of stuff happens. Any thoughts on universities that default having Zoom calls as their classes? I'm not in the university system anymore, so I don't know how prevalent that is or how much that's going on, so I can't really speak to it. I'll be right back. Ooh. Oh, man. I got this maneuver I do to crack my back. Or I use the stairs. Like when you're going up the stairs, I'll stop, I'll grab the step in front of me and kind of brace my arms against my legs and lean forward. It kind of decompresses your upper spine. I just did that. Oh, bro. My whole, like, I guess what they call your cervical spine decompressed at once. It was like, and I got dizzy. I was like, whoa. Oh. Apophis. The meteor Apophis. Do you remember me? No. Sorry, bro. What are you smoking? Nothing, officer. A cigarette, officer. See? Look, watch. A cigarette, officer. I said, I'm a healthy boy. I smoke broccoli. I lie to you, but don't you lie to me. You look like a painter. What's a painter look like? Like, what does a painter look like? I guess me? I mean, I don't think that's so. I mean, how does a painter look like me? I subbed last stream for you. Oh, well, that's cool. Welcome back, bud. I don't really keep track of those things, but yeah. You look more like a druid. Now you're talking. Now you're getting down to it. Oh, a druid. Oh, a druid. Oh, a druid. Oh, there's a huge bubble. A huge, massive stock buyback bubble that's been artificially inflating the stock market now for probably fucking 8 or 10 years straight. Just an absurd amount of white collar fraud going on. It's like we learned nothing from 2008 when that white collar fraud pushed the global economy to the brink of utter insolvency and collapse, right? And we just let people just start doing it again. The same exact shit. The derivatives trading and the fucking credit default swaps and the whole nine. They just let people start doing that shit again. Yeah. Leave Paul alone, goddammit. Paul's a good guy. Okay? He's got a good head on his shoulders. Where are you? Where are any of us, really? Where is anybody at any given moment? Because I can travel without moving. I have this wonderful instrument that I call an imagination. And so I can talk to you for 1 second, and then the next second I can be standing at the top of a mountain, looking down at a verdant green valley. I can see and feel those things. Do you think Tesla is finished? Um, you know, what's happening to me is not fair. These guys are jerks. Laughing as Tesla's stock price is in half. These guys are jerks. Jerks. And people are being intimidated. And Tesla owners are being intimidated. And these guys are just jerks. And we're going to go after them. We're going to go after these jerks. See Kyle. See Kyle. Anyway, I don't like jerks. See Kyle. I don't like jerks. Like, yep, the dorkpocalypse is upon us, man. There used to be a fucking medium by which nerds were tamped down. You know what I mean? But now we got a bunch of fucking brainiacs running around. Really captured how he never moves his upper lip when he speaks, yeah. Or his teeth. Those top teeth, they just stay right in the same spot when he's speaking. I just think it's very much a problem. You know, it's a problem. Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities to solve that problem. The jerks, they're laughing because Tesla stock has gone down to half. They're laughing. They're jerks. And what kind of jerk does that, you know? Giuliani is a spot of joy in these grim times. Yeah, I guess so, huh? God bless Giuliani. The woke mind virus. I don't think it's so crazy. I never thought owning a home would get this crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I lost my son. I lost my son to the woke mind virus. My son, Xander X12, divided by 2, sum total, 78 Vulcan. Yeah, I lost him to the woke mind virus. A reporter talking about Giuliani assaulting her with his ice cold hands and jaundiced eyes. I do remember that. Dude, that was a pretty epic one. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was a pretty fucking epic one. Who smells worse, Trump or Giuliani? Depends on the time of day, right? Because I feel like Giuliani, after a day of hard drinking, maybe after a week of hard drinking, is gonna build up a funk that's probably going to rival Trump. But I think on the day to day, if you were to just grab one of them at a random moment and test the stink, I think it's going to be Trump most of the time. All the reporting from people that have been close to Trump that aren't in his camp is that he just smells like human shit all the time because his diaper is full of it. You know, like he was pooping his diaper in court, and there were all the reporters that were there that were sitting near him talked about how like the stench just pervaded the entire room. So I think moment to moment Trump is stinkier, but I think you could probably catch Giuliani on a bender, and you could probably get more funk off of Giuliani at that point. But that's just my read on it. I could be 100% wrong about that. I've been watching your videos on the United States. Subscribe there. I just want to let you know I enjoy that content, and you and TJ have good energy together. Oh, cool, neat. Yeah, that's cool. I kind of forget that Hugs that you started here instead of there, so that's cool. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you catch Giuliani on a bender where it's been like 5 days since he showered and he's in the same suit, I think at that point, if you could catch him at that moment, that's probably going to be a cruddier smell, maybe. Sour, like a sour smell. Like hot and sour soup. You know what I'm talking about? You ever had hot and sour soup? America's mayor. Unreal, bro. That is a dude that you. I feel like he could have just grabbed the moon and owned it. I mean, like, the entire country loved Giuliani in the wake of 9/11. And he just squandered all of that. Now he's this weird little goblin that, like, literally everybody just makes fun of him. The right makes fun of him. The left makes fun of him. Yes, I wish I wasn't eating now. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. But, shit happens. Yeah, I've heard of the one chip challenge, and I'm not going to do it. No. It's just where they just, like, pour a bunch of capsaicin on a chip, and you eat it, and it hurts and burns for, like, 3 hours, and everybody laughs at your misfortune. Like, mm-mm. Yeah. Just give me a chemical burn on my mouth and throat, and let that swim around my stomach for a while, too, because I'm sure that's going to feel great. I'm like, no thanks. Oh, I've been down that road. Yeah. I've been down that road. I got trolled into trying one of these nuclear hot sauces by a bunch of Mexican guys once. All right. I was in my late teens. So I was like 17 or 18 or something like that, so in that zone. And I got trolled into taking a big old, they put it on a saltine, and I let me put, like, they told me just put a little bit, eh? And I was like, bloop, 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 bloop. And they're like, oh shit. And I just sat there and I tried to keep a brave face, but it built to a certain point where I was like, oh fuck, bro. Started running around the house, whining, sweating. Nose started running. You're just like, I've been down that road. Paul, I have COVID. Any advice? For what? I don't know, dude. I don't know where you live. I don't know what you got near you, so. Yeah, I tried to act hard, but I ended up having to brush my teeth with ice cream. Oh, dude, yeah. No, I was sucking down milk and running my whole head under the faucet. Like, oh. Of course, those dudes are just dying. Everyone thinks that spicy is so easy to handle. How wrong can they be? Yeah. It is pretty wrong. Well, like a certain level of spicy is just, you're torturing yourself at that point. For what? I guess. Yeah, I've seen hot ones. Some people handle it better than others. True. I'm pretty sure I probably handle spice at least as good as your average person, if not better. Like, I do like eating hot peppers and, really spicy Mexican food is my favorite food. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm a wuss when it comes to spice. I can handle some spice. I eat pickled hot banana peppers and jalapenos pretty often. Yeah, I mean, amongst the people I grew up with, jalapenos are not really considered to be like ultra spicy, but to a lot of people, they are, right? Like a lot of people, if you hand them a raw jalapeno and tell them like eat this, they're gonna be like, "Ooh, that's spicy." Like it'll be spicy to me. It's not like I'm gonna be like, "Oh, it ain't nothing," but I like it. You know what I mean? Like I can endure that, and I think it's worth enduring. Like one of my favorite things to do in like spring or summer, if you're doing like a little grill, is if I'm grilling up hamburgers and some chicken breasts or whatever, some chicken thighs, grill all that up, right? And then right when you're gonna finish, sweat out some jalapenos. Like I'll usually throw 3 or 4 down and just put them on a plate so that anybody that wants one can grab one. I'd leave them on there long enough to soften them a little bit and to get that char on the outer skin, that black, kind of char on both sides of the outer skin. And you can just lay that open and put it on a hamburger or put it on a sandwich or just eat it a little bit at a time with whatever else you're having. Or like I do, I wait for them to cool down enough so I don't burn myself, obviously. And then I'll just grab one and I'll eat it with whatever, just whole. What? Kid Rock has your name tattooed on his arm. You know what? Fuck you into the fray. I'm above the fray. Okay? And I've had enough. The reminders are unnecessary, okay? It's still rent-free. You don't have to remind me. It's rent-free. Are you a fan of Hatch green chili? I don't know what the fuck that is. I like your glasses. Thanks. I like my glasses too. I have two pairs. I have these, which I can't remember what brand these are. Ooh, Lottie frickin' da, Paul's ego. These are Calvin Klein's. And then I've got a pair of Ray-Bans for my other ones. These are the ones I'm supposed to wear all day, all the time. And I'm really trying to be better about it. I'm pretty good about wearing it when I'm on my computer or having to do phone stuff, but I tend to like take them off, set them down somewhere, and forget to wear them most of the rest of the time. And I end up like squinting at shit. So it's just, I gotta get used to them. You ever have shrimp wrapped in bacon, stuffed with cream cheese, and cooked on the grill? It's so good. Yes. Well, I've done like jalapeno poppers on the grill. So like, you will take some fresh jalapenos, slice them in half, remove the placenta, which is like, you know, the white kind of guts of it. So you make kind of two little hollow cups, right? You stuff those hollow cups with a cheese and cream cheese blend, right? And then you put them together, sandwich them back together, and wrap the whole pepper in bacon, right? And I'm telling you, dude, simple, right? So it's not like you're going like over the top making these. Super simple. Anybody can make them. Put those on the grill till the bacon is good and like crispy. You don't want flabby bacon on the outside of it. You want to let that bacon get good and charred around the outside of those. And I'm telling you, dude, you're like hard pressed to find a better. You're gonna want to cook them on like some like, because obviously they're gonna ooze some cheese and shit. But for the most part, if you keep them upright, they seal up pretty nice inside that bacon. Keeps it all like molten in there, and you let them cool down a little bit after they come off the grill, and that's just like fucking, dude, those disappear at the barbecue. You can't make enough of them, to be honest with you. Like the only downside of that is if you really wanted everybody to get as many as they wanted, you'd have to be making them all day. You know, you make a plate of them and everybody gets a couple and they're fucking gone. You know what I mean? It's one of the things that just doesn't last. Grilled cheese stuff, jalapenos wrapped in bacon. That sounds wicked good. Wicked good? Yeah. No, it's really good. Yeah, it's super fucking good. As one of the things that I want to get, I think, for myself over here is I want to get myself, not big, but a little standard size Weber grill so that I can do some, just some, you know, some hamburgers, hot dogs and stuff. I would like to have a barbecue over here at one point. Like maybe when the guys come to visit, I'll just do a big barbecue over here because I kind of miss doing that. I'm not a big fan of the meat anymore, although I won't turn my nose up at it. I'll have a hamburger here and there if I want one, but I like doing it. So it's just fun to make burgers and, you know, chicken and a little side or whatever. I'll do jalapeno poppers. I like a charcoal grill. They're kind of a pain in the butt, but you know, so is maintaining a gas grill, so whatever. I think a little Weber is pretty fucking simple. Maybe I'll scalp myself one of those for the downstairs deck, because that'd be a really good spot to barbecue on. I'm not worried about the grammar, bro. I'm not feeling like a grammar Nazi today. Plus, I know you, so it is what it is. Oops, excuse me. My soup strainer catches a lot of that coffee if I'm not careful. My soup strainer, my cookie duster. It's a cookie duster. That's what we call a mustache. A cookie duster. Shrimp are cheaper than eggs down here in the Gulf now. It's crazy. I can get a pound of 13 count shrimp for $4 right off the boats. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, that is one of the things that I will not lie to you, I do miss about living in the New Orleans area. Is like, I miss Radostas. I miss po' boys in general, but the Radostas roast beef dressed is, in my opinion, the greatest sandwich that I've ever had in my life. Like, it beats all. There is just something about that. You know, I would love to be able to take my whole family, everybody I've ever met, Radostas, and have them get that experience, because that's just something else, man. It's, you know, it's not a complex thing. It's not like a super complex dish, but there's something about that fresh baked French baguette, right? That fucking slow and low brisket that's on there. The, you know, just the whatever dressings that they, that means they put on all their sauces and their lettuce and tomato, blah 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 blah. And, oh my god, man! And just eating at that place is kind of like a time capsule. It's a place that, like, that's why I love it so much. It's like you can get a great po' boy in a lot of places. You know what I mean? There's a lot of places you can go to get a really fucking standout po' boy in Louisiana and probably Mississippi as well. But, like, you can't get, dude, Radostas is like an old, like, you know, neighborhood grocery stores. You know, before there were these big Save Mart or whatever you go to, you know, Walmarts with a big grocery store in them and shit. There used to be these little neighborhood grocers, right? Which were little private businesses that, you know, people that lived in a neighborhood and within a striking distance of it could use it as a place to go and shop and get their bread and their eggs and their stuff, right? And so it was like that. It's one of those, and it still kind of is. But they've taken the deli counter that was always there and kind of expanded it into a restaurant concept. So you go in there, and it is still like a little convenience store, but you walk to the back, order your sandwich at the deli counter. It's like a time capsule, man. That the whole place just feels like it's out of the 50s. But, like, authentically, because they just haven't changed anything since the 50s. So it's like talking to the dudes that make your sandwich, how it works is different from any other restaurant. Like, you go there and there's all these coolers filled with all kinds of different stuff, like at a convenience store, right? And you grab your sandwich, you sit down at a table, you go grab whatever you want. You pay after. And it's a standard price for every drink in the cooler. So you just tell him, yeah, we had, you know what I mean? You give him your receipt, and then he says, what drinks did you have? And I said, I had 2. And she had 1. All right, 3 drinks, 2 roast beef, boom, 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 and you pay, right? You don't pay until you've eaten. So it's like that, right? It's interesting. But it's just very, you know, I've never had an experience like that at a place. Nicole, good evening. My friend Urinator? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Give me a break, dude. Urinator. Give me a break, bro. Where do you see the development of batteries in the next few years? I have no fucking clue, man. I'm not a battery expert. It's a level 1 prank call, yeah. That's a, like, is your refrigerator running? It is. Well, you better go catch it. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let him out. Is Yuri friends with Mike Oxmall? Yeah, Mike Oxmall and Oliver Closeoff. You know what I'm talking about? Ivana Humpalot. You know her? She's pretty cool. Alpha Kitty 1, yeah. I am Sofa King. We Todd did. You guys ever said that? Humongous. Yeah. Humongous. Oh yeah, I played Double Dragon. I played Double Dragon in the arcade. On the arcade cabinet, Double Dragon. Flex on me now. And I gotta tell you, for my money, Bad Dudes was a better cabinet than fucking Double Dragon. That is a game right there. Ninjas have kidnapped the president. Are you a bad enough dude to save him? That's the plot. Literally, ninjas have kidnapped the president. Are you a bad enough dude to save him? Insert quarter. Yeah. Bart would do the silly names at the bar. Why, you little... Simpsons, the absolute longest running show ever. I don't know. There might be some like PBS shows that are longer running than The Simpsons, and I would say that that's probably the case. So I know that Sesame Street was around before The Simpsons, and it's still running as far as I know, right? So there's stuff like that, right? Is Netflix worth it? Nah, not for me. I really don't think any of these streaming platforms are worth it the way that they're designed, but like Netflix in particular is just really egregious, pushing its own shit over actual movies. Like that's one of the things I started to hate about Netflix was, you know, you land on the thing where you want to browse different movies, and 90% of the movies that they give you are Netflix originals. It's just like, no, thank you. No. That's not why I got Netflix. I got Netflix to watch real movies made by real studios. If you make a cool movie here and there, I'm cool to check it out. But sprinkle it. This is like Netflix. Everything was a Netflix original. It's all just like garbage. It's clear what their strategy is. It's like, you know, fire as many bullets as you can, and a few of them will hit a target, maybe. And if the ones that don't, well, whatever. You already got the money for it anyway. People already paid you to develop those shows anyway, so what do you care if they flop? It's like, I don't like that. All of these channels are starting to do it now, too, when you sign up for Peacock or whatever. Peacock Originals, and it's like, don't do this. I know this is a proven business model, but please don't do this. I heard Blockbuster turned down to buy Netflix back in the day for $50 million. I think so, yeah. I think that's probably the case. Probably a stupid move. There would probably still be Blockbusters around, or Blockbuster would probably still be a company that's like worth a shit. In fact, the CEO guy laughed at Netflix's creators' faces, I believe. Yeah. Maybe he did. I don't know. I think it's spring break. Must be. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll see you guys some other time.